And now, it's time for Healing from Within with your host, Tony Valen.
Welcome to Healing from Within. I'm your host, Tony Valen. You can contact me, tony@tonyvalen.com. Visit our website, healingfromwithin.net. Follow us on Twitter @TVHFW. Let's check in with one of our previous guests.
Hi, this is Carolyn Puckett, here on behalf of Healing from Within with Tony Valen on Blog Talk Radio. Miracles with Ascended Masters. Question: how do I receive more messages for higher guidance? Answer: Step 1. Perceive to receive. Pay attention. Look, listen, and feel. Messages are everywhere. Stop to notice what you are directed to see and feel. Synchronicities are higher guidance. Follow through on any intuitive action. Look up meanings if guided to. Follow through to gain the deeper meaning. When you get it, it will make sense to you. If you don't get the meaning right away, ask to receive the full meaning at a later time or as soon as possible. Be patient. Don't forget about it, but be patient. The answers will come as you set the intention to know more. Sometimes it's like solving a mystery. Gather the clues. When all pieces are there, you can integrate the information to solve the mystery. Step 2. Learn to communicate with feeling energy flow from your higher self and higher guides. Learn to use the pendulum to get yes-no answers to your yes-no questions. After you ask a series of yes and no questions and receive your yes and no answers, ask an open-ended question, then receive the intuitive flow of information. Practice and notice your intuition improve. Step 3. Ask about all matters and all decisions you have to make to know the highest choice and highest guidance. Step 4. Confirm everything. False information will block you for a while until you release it. Ask for discernment in things and with all information. Also confirm information as things are changing in yourself, others, world, and timelines. Step 5. Keep on asking, seeking, knocking. Let your higher self and guides lead you. Follow through with your logical brain by asking questions and setting intentions to receive the answers. Trust that this leads to higher guidance and higher knowledge to be applied for your healing, growth, higher life purpose, and joy and fulfillment. Again, this is Carolyn Puckett, here on behalf of Healing from Within with Tony Valen on Blog Talk Radio. You can contact me at blissmyofficialrelease.com or princessmani.com. Until next time, listeners.
Joining us on today's show is Jane Mortimore. Jane is a paranormal investigator and co-owner of Black Hats Paranormal. To learn more about Jane and her investigative team, you can go to bcpi.co.uk. Like them on Facebook at BCats Paranormal. Follow them on Twitter at BCats Paranormal. You can also check them out on YouTube, BCats Paranormal. That's B as in boy. Jane, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having us on.
Thank you so much for being on the show. So let's get started with what you do and how your journey began.
Okay, well, right now we run a paranormal team called Black Cats Paranormal. It's myself and a friend. We both work psychically as well as using sort of like paranormal gadgets. We like to go out and find paranormal evidence, present it through our videos that we make, and allow people to make up their own minds as to whether they think that there is an afterlife. However, like most groups, we are trying to prove that there is an afterlife. Our journeys both started, we both started school together at the age of 3. So our journeys have kind of grown together. We've both seen things as children, and we went to the same schools right up until we had our own families. Then we lost contact for a little while. But we've both had sort of like paranormal experiences and developed our psychic sides, our mediumistic sides, and it's kind of brought us together again. So it's brought us back together with Black Cats Paranormal.
Wonderful. And how long have you guys been working with Black Cats Paranormal?
Black Cats Paranormal is only 7 months old. We did run a previous team together, but because of differences in opinions, we kind of moved away to work our own way, which is producing better results for us, better evidence, we feel. So we've both been investigating roughly... Well, I've been investigating for 13 years, and Michelle has been investigating for nearly 4 years.
Very interesting. So how do you begin an investigation?
Well, we either get a call or we approach a location to see if we're allowed to go in. We always get permission to be where we are. And then when we go in, before we do anything, once we've taken our equipment in, we will do a spiritual protection, if that's what you'd like to call it. We feel it's important. We wrap ourselves in a bubble. We ask our guides to work with us, as we feel, as we're open to connecting to the spirit world, that it's very important to have that little bit of extra protection, because you never actually know what is there.
And what tools do you use during your investigation?
First and foremost, we like to use ourselves. We're very receptive. It doesn't matter whether you feel that you're psychic or not. The body and the mind is a very receptive tool. After that, it would have to be, for me, our camcorders, because I enjoy getting footage and producing the videos afterwards. But we use kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. We've got K2 meter, Spirit Box, Ovilus, all the normal bits that investigation teams use. We do, however, try to use sort of like low-cost alternatives as well, because a lot of equipment is outpriced and outsourced in the paranormal market. So we're trying to bring it forward that you're able to use everyday stuff to investigate with.
Got it. And for the listeners, can you please explain what a K2 meter is and what a spirit box is, or a voice box?
Okay, a spirit box is an ordinary radio. Most digital radios now have a sweep, an auto search on it. Basically, what the spirit box does is it takes away the feature where the auto search will stop on a radio station and tune in. So it's just basically constantly sweeping through and through in between the frequencies and the radio stations that it picks up. It's a theory that spirit voices can use the white noise to say words. We've had some very interesting results with it.
Really? And what about the K2 meter?
Okay, a K2 meter is an electromagnetic field meter. It picks up different frequencies of electromagnetic fields in milligauss. It's very similar to the Gauss meter, or to the Gauss meter, whichever you'd like to call it, in the fact that it's picking up and showing you what the results you're getting, except that it uses lights. That's the only difference. There are a lot of stray electromagnetic fields that you can get through mobile phones, different electrical equipment that you may have in a building, even wires running up through a wall will affect a K2 meter. So, in all honesty, we tend not to use them a lot because we're not sure of the reliability of them. We've had some good results with it, we've had some not so good results with it.
Absolutely, and I can imagine that probably you depend more on your psychic abilities or medium abilities to pick up on spirit more than the actual tools.
We do use the spirit box a lot because we have had personal messages through on that, and we actually find that a useful tool.
Absolutely. And when you're doing these investigations, do you tend to pick up on some of your own relatives or someone that in your life?
Sure, it's always possible to do that. We try to tune into the actual location that we're in, but of course, I mean, if it's just not the two of us and we've got, say, like an extra person or two with us, we have found that we've ended up giving messages to the other people, because if family are trying to get a message through, whether they're there's a desperation to get a message through, or just someone wanting to say, look, we're here, we're okay, it's okay, you can grieve, we're fine. We have to do that because they've tried so hard to come through to us. We have to pass it on.
I agree with that. Now, do you guys work for a fee? Do you charge a fee, or is this something that you provide free as a free service?
Any money that we put into Black Cats Paranormal is our own money. We take no money for it. The only thing we do, if we are investigating larger locations, some of the more haunted locations, we normally work with 2 or 3 other teams, and we split the cost of a location. If we're hiring the building, say it costs £200, we have 10 people, it would cost us £20 each. We don't make no money from this. We do it just purely for the love of what we do.
Absolutely. I love that also. Out of all the investigations that you have done in the past, which investigation would you say stands out the most for you?
Okay, we done one earlier in the year, and it's called Buckland House. It's a very old mansion which dates back to the Doomsdays book in Devon, in the UK. It was extremely active. There's a local church there that we were allowed to go in. We got permission to go into the church, and the activity was phenomenal. We were seeing things, shadows moving, we were hearing things. We've actually picked all of this up on video and EVPs, and we've even got one of the cameras actually being moved, and we can prove that there was no one around the camera at the time. That has to be one that stands out for us, because the energy was so electric that it was hard not to be excited by it all.
Amazing. And do you have all this available on YouTube for people to check out?
Sure, we do, yep. It's all on our YouTube channel. We make episodes. Yeah, sure, it's all on there ready for people to view.
Absolutely. Now, when you go out on these investigations, before showing up for the investigation, do you guys do any prior historical research or anything to help you out, or do you just go out there and go with what you're feeling?
I do. Personally, I do, because I try to work more on the technical side of things now, because I've done the mediumistic side, so I'm exploring new sides of paranormal investigating. At the moment, for me, it's filming, as I said previously. Michelle doesn't, because Michelle likes to go out and be blind in a situation. However, we both pick stuff up. We were on an investigation recently where we were in a Royal Air Force Museum. We actually had a pilot come through on the Ouija board, and he was really needed help. He gave us some information, and we helped to pass him over to wherever he wanted to be, where he was happier. From that, after passing him over, we've actually found some information on him, and it's been phenomenal, the stuff that we found out.
Yeah, and you mentioned a Ouija board. Now, I know that I've spoken to other people in the past, mostly people that are not in the realm of psychic or in what we do. They seem to be afraid of the Ouija board. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm very much of the stance that a Ouija board should be done by someone experienced. I don't think they're a toy. I think they can be a good communication tool. If it's protected enough, if you do the right things, then it can be a good tool. But if it's used in the wrong way, then it can cause problems. Because no matter what you do, whether you're asking out to a spirit or you're doing glass divination, dowsing, you're essentially opening up the same type of portal, asking the spirit to come through to you anyway. That's my stance on it.
Right. And in all your investigations, are most of them done like in large, big buildings, or are they I guess what I'm asking is, have you ever done house cleansing, or is that what you guys do as part of your services?
Sure, we range from sort of like huge, great big mansions down to houses. Yes, residential cleansings. It depends where we're needed or where we want to go at the time. If people need us, then we'll be there for them, and we'll try to help. If we can't help, because it's not, we can't claim to be right for every situation. If we can't help, we'll put people in touch with someone who hopefully can.
Yeah. And in everything that you've looked at in investigations, do you ever come across entities that are like satanic or very evil? And do you handle that type of situation?
To be honest, we haven't come across something that we would call demonic. We've come across negative spirits, as such, where they've been a bit pushy, where they've been tried to be overpowering. But I think that comes down to mind over matter. If you're strong enough to deal with something, then that's okay. But we tend to say, look, you're where you are, we're where we are. We respect the divide between us. This is if we're going into a location. You were here first. We don't want to disturb you. We'll leave you in respect. If we're going into house clearing to sort something out, then it's totally different. Yeah, we have to tackle perhaps these negative entities full on. You've got no option but to kind of use it with respect, but you're calling in for higher powers to come in and help you when you're doing that.
Yeah. And when you do your investigations at the very end, do you guys have like an exit conference with the owners and give them advice as to what to do, or if you've solved the problem? Or
Sure. I mean, you just can't go in and offer a service and then just walk away and leave it with nothing. You have to offer advice. Obviously, a callback service if they have issues still remaining or any worries, because anxieties will carry on for a long time after. We're there to help regardless, as much as we can.
Have any of your investigations ever crossed children or children's spirits?
Yes, we have come across children's spirits. Ones that seem to be happy where they are. But they're generally accompanied by, I would say, older spirits. And we've never had a case where we've passed a child over to be with their parents or so forth. They've always been accompanied by an older spirit.
Wow, yeah. During your investigation, are you ever afraid of being harmed, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental?
I would say no. I think there's always, you've got to have that concern in that respect, that you must be aware that it can happen. And this is where respect is a major thing for us. We don't taunt, we don't, we try not to, we don't bring things out that in a way as such where it would cause them upset.
Yeah. And you talked about passing people over, and how does that work, or how do you help someone? Are you talking about like sending them to the light?
Yes. I mean, I find it very much a thing on belief. To the light for me would be almost like sending them to heaven. As a person who isn't religious, I believe we're helping send them on and give them the confidence to send them to a place where they feel at peace.
Have you ever had a ghost or a spirit follow you home?
I did when I first started development back 12 years ago. I was being guided by a supposed medium at the time who was protecting us and claimed to be able to do it all. We went to a very famous location in the UK called Woodchester Mansion, and the things and the entities there are not very nice at all.
Wow.
I had something follow me home. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I really didn't know what to do.
Wow. And how was it? What was it doing to you? Was it keeping you up at night, or making noises, or touching you, or?
I actually had to get different advice from someone else. It was actually stood over me, and when there's a spirit near you, it gives you a feeling. Well, the feeling that it was giving was not a very nice one at all. I could see this sort of like 8-foot dark shadow stood over my bed as I was laid there, and it was very daunting because I was very open at the time and very new to seeing spirit. I'd only just started cultivating the abilities that I had. So it was all very exciting, but this really scared the crap out of me.
I can imagine, yeah. This is Tony Valen with Healing From Within. You can contact me, Tony at TonyValen.com. Visit our website, healingfromwithin.net. Follow the show on Twitter at TVHFW. We are talking to our guest, Jane, from Black Cats Paranormal. You can learn more about Jane and her investigative team at B as in boy, C as in cat, P as in Paul, I.co.uk. Like them on Facebook at BCats Paranormal. Follow them on Twitter, BCats Paranormal. And you can also check them out on YouTube. Just search BCats Paranormal. Now, Jane, when you're doing your investigations, how do you protect yourself? I know that you said you bring the white light upon you, but do you take some time to meditate, and how long does it take you to prepare?
Okay, for us, protection is a daily belief. It's something that we do on a daily basis anyway, but we tend to, when we protect ourselves before an investigation, we almost do hit a meditative state as we go through it. We ground and we protect, where we put a white bubble around us. We want to hold ourselves down in our bodies as such. So we put roots down into the ground. And we use the universal energies to work with us and protect us as well.
When you come in contact with paranormal activity, do you mostly feel that they are ghosts or evil entities or just misguided souls?
I think it can be one of each, to be honest. I think there are spirits that are coming visitation, perhaps ones that are here, that are stuck, where we would offer help. If they wanted it, you can't force help, that's for sure. Evil entities as such, there are ones that have never sort of like been on the earth plane. We try to avoid those types, as most people do, but we will deal with them if we have to. However, I think most are just spirits that are here that are either grounded, trapped, or in visitation.
Yeah. Can you personally, or if you want to answer for your company, do you believe in a higher power and or evil?
I'm not sure what I believe, to be honest. I've always been of this stance. There must be something else, or else what would be the point of what we're doing? There's definitely an afterlife. There's definitely a universal energy. Whether there is a God as such, I'm not sure. I still remain open on that one.
Yeah.
I believe Michelle is pretty much the same as me. We cannot force any religious belief because we have none, and that's not something we'd force anyway. So we remain open on it. We know that there's universal energy. We use the universal energies, and we try to put back into what we take. I would say that's probably the best way of describing
Absolutely. It. So if someone needed your assistance, how would they contact you?
Okay, we've got a website, which you've just mentioned, www.bcpi.co.uk. There's a contact page on there. People can contact us through that. We have Facebook, and we also have Twitter. We are just about to put up a number on our website, which people will also be able to contact us through. We want to make our services open for people, so we're trying to make it, give ourselves as much as we can.
Absolutely. Now, what about people like us? We're here in the U.S., and do you, of course, you probably couldn't come all the way to the U.S. just to do one little cleansing or just one person. So are you able to give people advice and be willing to give people advice and pointers on how to help themselves with their home? Or do you have someone that you can refer them to here in the U.S.?
Of course, we always try to offer advice, but as you said, distance can be a problem. We offer as much advice as we can, and then we try to put that person in touch with someone who is local. We have many contacts through the world that we try to work with, and we would try to get in contact with them to either help or again refer on to someone a bit more local. We just try to help as much as we can, offer advice, and then pass on where we're able to.
Wonderful. And how does your family and your friends feel about what you and Michelle do?
Okay, my husband is actually a skeptic. He's been on investigations with us and seen things he can't explain, but he still remains skeptical. Really? He is open to the idea that there is something there, but he's not sure what. He's very supportive, and the same with Michelle's husband. He is very supportive as well. All of our children have got different beliefs. We don't force, what we do onto our children. One of my children is very open and psychic. The other two are non-believers. We've all got our own beliefs, but we all, we're very much supporters of each other, and Michelle's family is the same.
Wonderful. And what are the future plans for Black Cats Paranormal?
Okay, well, at present, we just want to carry on doing what we're doing. We're really enjoying our journey at the moment. We love making videos for everyone to see the activity that we pick up and what we're doing. We're still going to be offering our services to those that we're able to help, whether it's on investigations where we hire buildings, whether it's offering readings to people on investigations, or whether it's doing house clearances. That is what we have planned. There are no plans to, search out TV deals, no plans to take it down that route whatsoever. We just want to do what we do and what we love.
Right, and help be of service to people. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
In our last remaining minutes, can you please tell us about your new logo?
Okay. When we first started Black Cats Paranormal, we sat down and we designed the logo together. That has really served us well. However, we found that as people have wanted people have asked for merchandise, sort of like t-shirts, hoodies, caps. They've asked for this type of stuff. The logo didn't actually work with that type of, being embroidered onto material. So we kind of thought that we'd go for a new logo in line with starting next year's videos anyway for YouTube. So we've made up a new logo, and it's made it easier for the company to embroider for merchandise. Now, the merchandise that we're going to be selling, we're actually selling it pretty much what we're paying for it. We're not making any profit out of it. We just want to share what we do. People are asking if they can share with us, and that's what we want to do.
Wonderful, and I'm looking at the beanie that you guys offer. So where would people go to buy this merchandise? On your website, will you actually have a page there for people to order?
Yeah, sure. As we get more merchandise, we will set up a page on the website where people can buy it directly. Otherwise, at the moment, we're just asking, because it's literally just something that we've had for a couple of days, we're asking people to contact us through Facebook or through Twitter at the moment, because we haven't had a chance to update the website as such, because it is that new. We couldn't wait to share it with people.
Wonderful. Jane, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners before we call it a day?
Sure. Just everything that we do and everything that we say is always, please, 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 if you are investigating, remember to respect who you're talking to, because they were once someone's mum, someone's brother, someone's father, or someone's daughter. Respect is a key thing in paranormal investigating, and we will never be able to get this across enough.
Thank you so much. Our thanks to Jane Mattimore for joining us on today's show. Jane is a paranormal investigator and co-owner of Black Cats Paranormal. To learn more about Jane and her investigative team, you can go to B as in boy, C as in cat, P as in Paul, I.co.com. That's bcpi.co.uk. Like them on Facebook at BCats Paranormal. Follow them on Twitter, BCats Paranormal. Or you can also check them out on YouTube, BCats Paranormal. You are listening to Healing from Within with Tony Valen here on Blog Talk Radio, airing Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Visit our website, healingfromwithin.net. Contact me directly, tony@tonyvalen.com. Please follow the show on Twitter at TVHFW, Tony Valen, Healing from Within. Thank you so much from all of us here at Healing from Within, and love and light to everyone.